Well, hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Kingdom Business Podcast. Yay. I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome back to the Kingdom Business Podcast. I'm your host, Erica Pyle. And today, friends, we're going to be talking about why Kingdom entrepreneurs will thrive in 2026, even if everybody else is panicking. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, as we're getting into this episode, I just want to keep it 100. I want to keep it real. So I just finished re-recording an audio, a mindset experience audio for a bonus for my upcoming Plan Your Year workshop. And I had to re-record it. I had some craziness happen in my online studio setup. And so wound up having to re-record it. And as I was preparing for shooting this episode of the podcast, I just started having this thought like, I want this to be a more casual experience. Everything that I do, I like operate at like 100% at all times. I'm just like, what is that? Oh, it's this. I operate at 100% all the time, trying to like get everything to be so spot on. And one thing that I have said over and over about this podcast is that I want it to feel like community and I want it to feel like it's done with you. I want it to feel like authentic, like we're really here. I want it to feel like one of my sessions in my Build with Faith mentorship community, actually. Just like, like little tasters and tidbits of what it's like to really be working with me. And if that's the case, then there has to be a place in me where I'm willing to sit here on a live stream and just be like, you know what, this is where I'm at. Like today, for instance, I've always have my notes in front of me, but I'm going to have to look at them a lot today because what I'm bringing you is stuff that I've been researching for the last 6 weeks. And I've been really diligent about it because it's something that it it's impacting our industry significantly. And it's broken my heart in some cases because I've watched people be absolutely decimated by what's happening and the fact that they don't know what to do about it. And it breaks my heart. People that have been in this industry for a really long time and they're having to pivot and it's hard and they've got this is where maybe someone else might be like, Erica, they don't have it so hard. They're making 7, 8 figures a year. Like it's not that hard. I need you to understand something though. If you are a 7 to 8 figure earner in this online business space, and you're like a coach, a course creator, content creator, online educator, expert, and you are making 7, 8, 9 figures in your business online, then it's very likely that you have a team of like 50 to 100 people. And if that's the case, and now the industry is pivoting, the whole landscape is pivoting, and the way that we do business and the way that buyers are buying is different, that is really scary, not just to someone's bottom line for themselves. Because think about it. If you're a 7 or 8 figure earner, you're not pocketing all that. There's a lot of that that's going to your team, like that's going to resources and payroll and all kinds of things, right? So there's a lot of play in those numbers, and maybe what's going in your bank account could potentially stay the same, but you would have to fire people. You would have to let people go, and you would be pivoting and freaking out basically on how can we shift offers so that we don't have to fire people, so we don't have to let people go, because there are people that are relying on you. So I don't want us to minimize and think like, oh well, if you're a 7 to 8 figure earner and things are shifting, then well, that's an occupational hazard for you and you decided to take the risk and now here you are. And you know no, miss that. Like what we have to realize is like this is a very big deal, not just because people are afraid that they're losing their own paychecks, but because they've built organizations, they've built businesses that involve 50, 60, 100 people, and those are families that they're helping to feed, and families that they are funding, and that's a really hard thing, and it brings a lot of stress. And so the reason why I wanted to point that out is because if you are in this industry, if you're in the online business space and you're looking to launch and scale and have your business here, but you're not yet at that level, and you're looking at that, one thing that you need to know is it's creating a lot of vibration in the space. So if you are coming into this and you're like, wow, like it feels like no one knows what's going on or what's going to work, you're not wrong. Like a lot of people are shaking in their boots because there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of weight, and everything has changed. Everything's shifting. So I've been telling you, I'm getting ready to do the Plan Your Year workshop on December 29th. And we're going to kick that thing off with a prophetic outlook for the market in 2026. And I have 10 massive shifts that I've been seeing and that the Holy Spirit has been speaking to me about, and why we as kingdom entrepreneurs are perfectly positioned to step into this new year and take that bull by its horns. I really believe that you have an uncanny and unfair advantage as a Jesus Girl entrepreneur stepping into the new year. If you are Holy Spirit filled, if you hear God, if you are ready to walk by faith and not by sight, this is your year. But here's the thing, hear me in this. You're going to have to be willing to unhook from the vibrations that are going on in this space right now. You cannot set your heart cadence by the fact that some people are absolutely freaking out. There are people that are leaving the space. There are people that are considered experts in online marketing and sales, and they're leaving the space. There are people, big names that I'm not going to talk about on my podcast, but big names that are pivoting, like shutting down signature offerings, and like maybe those announcements haven't gone so well and now they're having to pivot on messaging as well. There are people who, like, they had these, they pushed these really big programs, and I just went out to go and look and see, like, how are they positioning this program right now given the change in the industry, and it's just gone. It's like secretly they just took it off of their website. And this is something that they were pushing as like the biggest thing a couple years ago. And now it's just not there. They didn't announce that they were getting rid of it. It just stopped in some cases. In other cases, there are just behind the scenes people saying, like, we're not going to do this anymore. We're doing something different. And people are very quickly pivoting. I have not seen people pivot this quickly in ever in this industry. And it's all because what was working a year ago isn't working now. And so, like I said, I'm getting ready to do the Plan Your Year workshop where I'm going to talk about the very specific 10 massive shifts that are occurring in the marketplace right now, and what you, as a Jesus girl, as a follower of Jesus, as a kingdom entrepreneur, what you can do and why you're perfectly positioned to step into this new season. And today I want to talk about why, like, there are four reasons for why you as a kingdom entrepreneur, you're going to be perfectly positioned. I want to talk about that today. But if you want to talk specifically about those 10 shifts and how to get your business positioned in the new year so that you're ready to rock and roll, that's why you want to be in the room for Plan Your Year workshop. So before you do anything else, go to ericapyle.com/plan your year and sign up for the workshop. You don't want to miss that. The reason why I'm not talking about those 10 shifts in the podcast space is because I actually need to teach you about 3 things related to offer, audience, and sales to go along with those 10 shifts so that you'll be properly positioned. I can't just talk about the 10 shifts and then be like, you'll be okay. No. You actually need the training in the workshop on offers, audience, and sales so that you'll be properly positioned. It comes with a workbook. I'm giving you a bunch of AI prompts in there. I'm giving you wireframes for different things that you should probably be building out. I'm going to give you a framework for a launch plan. Like I'm going to give you all the things, but you've got to, like, I can't give you the 10 shifts and then leave you hanging. So you definitely want to be in the Plan Your Year workshop. If for nothing else other than getting that prophetic word right at the top, come on, you want to get covered, drenched in the word of God. You want to be in a room where there are other kingdom business owners in the room who are believing for the same things and at the same level that you are. You want the resonance of heaven over your business, and you got to get in the right rooms for that. You got to get proximity to the right people for that. And I'm telling you, the ones that are freaking out right now, the ones that are pivoting, and the ones that are like, oh, let's try this, let's try that, let's try that. You do not need that kind of hypervigilance in your world right now. You need to be next to the people that are like, yeah, God's got this. Yes, if we will just stick, hold on to the hem of his garment, keep on believing, knowing that as he steps, we step, we never go alone. He's going to give us the strategy and the solution. He's going to give us great ideas if we will stay in his word, if we will stay in the path with him, if we will not let go, if we will keep pursuing him and believing what he has said, and then applying it in the plans that he's given us, we're going to be golden. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the Plan Your Year workshop. So I want you in the room. Go to ericapyle.com/plan your year, and you can jump in for just $27. Do not sleep on that. Listen, I know the jingle bells are coming. I know that we're a week away. I get it. I know that there's a holiday happening, but listen, like priorities. Get your workshop ticket squared away for $27, and then we can then after the holiday, then you'll be like, oh, I've already got it handled. I'm going to see her on the 29th. Okay. All right. So let's get into today's episode. I want to talk to you about the 4 reasons for why you, as a kingdom entrepreneur, are perfectly positioned for this new season in online business out here. But like I said, I'm going to talk in the planning workshop about what actual shifts are happening, what's actually happening. But if I had to boil it down into just a few little bullet points of like what I really see happening, um, I just like I could just say it in one little tidbit, is that buyers are no longer buying charisma and hype. They're no longer being brought along by a sharp sales pitch. Everybody knows that if you're going onto a workshop or a webinar, you're going to be pitched something. They all know when it's coming. They all have like everybody knows. So buyers are not being sold on charisma and hype anymore. They're looking for clarity, conviction, and connection. Clarity, conviction, and connection. They're looking for authenticity, alignment, and alongside experiences. Okay. They're looking for clarity. They want to know what, like, they're done with the shell game. They're done with you trying to like win them on the hype and the charisma and the quick moves. They want clarity. They're like, what am I getting? What is the transformation going to be? What is the solution that I'm getting? What am I buying? Right? Like, what is it? Clarity. They're buying based on conviction. So in our world, this is called discernment. Yeah. So when we're testing fruit, we're checking in with the Holy Spirit to see, is what this person's saying, is it really what I'm going to get? And that's discernment for us. And that's the gift of discernment, right? But in the world, what they're looking for is, does this person believe their own self? Are they convicted? And the way that someone knows whether they're going to be able to deliver is if there's passion, if there's authentic passion coming off of that person. And that is conviction, that's ownership. So they may be saying, like, this is my story, but even that isn't selling anymore. It really comes down to, are you passionate about me? Are you passionate about helping me with my solution? Are you passionate about getting me that desired result? And like, do I believe you? There has to be conviction. And lastly is that connection. So it's like people no longer want to sit with a long list of videos to work through. They don't want done DIY. They don't want like, oh, I can YouTube it and figure it out all on my own, which is ironic because with the rise of AI, you would think that people are like, I don't want anybody. No, what's happening is with the rise of AI and people thinking originally, I can DIY everything, right? They're realizing that DIY has no heart and soul. DIY has no history of experience. AI has no history of experience. AI can't analyze, it cannot sit with you and work through the problem and understand the mindset issue or the emotional issue that it's causing and help you to get out of it. I've seen so many people try to use AI as a coach or even as a counselor, And if you haven't realized by now that AI is just the biggest hype girl out there, it's just the thing that's going to tell you what you want to hear so that you'll be hype, so that you'll keep on moving and keep on going. But after a while, we get sick of our own BS. You know what I mean? It's like at some point we're like, no, I really want to know what's going on under here. I really want to know why I'm having a hard time with this. I really want to know why it's not working. And while AI can give you all kinds of like answers based on funnels that it has researched and best practices out on the internet and all the profiles and info files that it has uploaded, it there is something about the essence of who we are as creators, little c creators under the big C creator, that AI is never going to be able to get to. And so, even though AI can give you a whole learning plan for something, even though AI can give you a whole framework for how to build something out, even though AI can now build your whole website or your whole course, I've seen a few of those over the last few months, it's not going to be able to come alongside you. And that's why I said also authenticity, alignment, and alongside experiences, because authenticity, AI can only repeat. There's nothing authentic about it. And people are desiring, longing for that authentic, connected, done with you experience. Alignment, they're looking for that conviction and for belief that lines up, because they want to know, are you in this with me? Okay. And then lastly, like I said, those alongside experiences, done with you experiences, they're looking for proximity. And if you are newer to the space, or if you're smaller, then you're perfectly positioned, because that's one thing that those 7 to 8 figure coaches, they can't do. They can't do proximity because they've priced themselves out. What's really wild is I had this experience like 3 years ago. I purchased a coaching package with a bigger name coach, and I went back and looked on the website. It never indicated that I wouldn't get to work with her. Every indication on it was that I was working with her. And I got into the program as a 3-month program, and I literally got one Voxer exchange with her. One, like a single one. I heard her voice on one Voxer exchange. Other than that, it was her team. Other than that, it was a webinar format Zoom where you could put questions into a Q&A box, but I never got my question answered. And when I got onto my coaching calls every month, it was the team. It was never her. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed working with her team members and I got a lot out of the program, but I got taken for a ride for all intents and purposes. Like, I did not get what I expected. And that for me was the beginning of me going, you know what? I'm not going to do my model like this. I'm not like, I want to work with the people. That's what lights me up. And little did I know that we would come 3 years later, and now this is what the market wants. The market wants to know, who am I working with? Am I going to get proximity? What's that proximity going to look like? Is this really going to be for real? And the buyer community is really valuing this now. So, that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I think that as kingdom entrepreneurs, we're perfectly positioned. Because, I mean, I'm going to talk about it in a second, but we know connections. We know authentic gathering. We know proximity, right? Like, we have Jesus as our best example of how to gather, how to nurture, and how to convert people. I know, like, sometimes people get a little offended. It's like, but no, Jesus was the best marketing expert that walked the face of the earth. He was the most intelligent, he was the most brilliant, and he did it like no one else. He is the expert. And so, if we'll look at how Jesus walked from people, from being a stranger to being interested, to being invested, to being a follower, a disciple, converted, and then to be an evangelist for him and for the Father. It's like, this is massive to understand. And you and I, if we've been sitting in church all these years and reading our Bibles and praying and interacting with God and having interactions with our brothers and sisters in Christ, we have learned how to be authentic. We've learned how to authentically connect. We've learned how to serve with a servant heart. We've learned servant-hearted leadership. We've learned how to really see people. We've used our gift of discernment. We're generous. We are not afraid. We don't have a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And all of these things, when you're going through a pivot, a transition like we are in the market, all of these things as a believer, as a spirit-filled believer, this makes all the difference. You're going to get to have a different experience. But there are specifically 4 reasons I see for why Jesus Girls Kingdom Entrepreneurs are perfectly positioned for this next season that we're going into. So these are the 4 things that I just want you to kind of note. They're big picture items, and I just want you to put them down so that you have them to kind of think about, talk to the Lord about, and consider how they come through in your business and in what you offer. Okay. The first one is this: we as kingdom entrepreneurs, we walk by faith and not by sight. So, why that gives us an edge in this new season is because right now it is really nervy out here. And it would be very easy to just be like, you know what? Nothing's working. Like, if I told you about my experience in ads over the last 3 rounds of ads that I've run, oh my goodness, nothing like what I was experiencing 6 months ago and before. Like, my numbers were pristine. My numbers were so good that they were being used in coaching calls with where I was a part of the coaching. I wasn't the coach. And people were like, look at what Eric is getting and look at how good this is working. And then to go from that to now go to, you know what, the algorithm's algorithming and there's nothing I can do. And talking to experts who are working with people who have $100,000 budgets for their ads, and they're saying, oh, it's not working for them either. They're the same thing that's happening to you is happening to them, but on like a 10x level. So it's really bad. And if I let that get to me, I'm going to be like, well, I should just stop running ads because, like, it's not working for anyone. But I walk by faith and not by sight. You walk by faith and not by sight. And so what I do, I went to God and I said, what do I do? And he was like, you're going to keep going and this is how you're going to do it. And I just made some adjustments because I'm doing it according to what he's showing me. I know the basics. I've learned the basics of how to run meta ads, and I'm being savvy. I'm like doing the best practices, but there are some things that God is going to show you where you're like, that part isn't for me. I'm going to do it this way." And as I've done that, I've seen different results. And so I'm going to keep on following God. I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. So, what does that mean for you when it comes to the funnel that you're building, the offer that you're putting together? What does it mean when you think to yourself, well, am I going to go all in on organic social to build my following? Is that the way that I should go? Is that where it's going to work for me? Or should I do long form content and try to build up my email list? Or should I use ads? Have a pray and a think about that, because right now, the people that are spinning out in the space, they're not going to be able to give you a very good answer. Like, I was literally talking to an ads expert last week, and she was like, I honestly, Erica, I like, given what you're seeing and the fact that you're getting better results than these other people, I I wouldn't even tell you to do this. And that just confirmed to me, like, I'm going to keep on asking God in this season of like everything is spiraling for so many people. I'm just going to keep on asking the Lord. And I'm going to stick close to people who have an ear to heaven, ear to the throne room. And so, like, I am one of those people. I can be one of those people for you because that's what I do all day long. Like, I'm in my word all the time. I'm like talking to God about this stuff all the time. And it really is my pleasure and my joy to walk with you. And so, just keep tuning into the podcast. Get signed up for the Plan Your Year workshop, and let's keep going together, because in seasons like this, we need to be collectives of women who walk by faith and not by sight. We need to encourage one another. Okay. The second thing that makes me know that kingdom entrepreneurs are going to thrive in this coming season is that we naturally lead with heart and truth. And what the world is looking for right now online is authenticity and real connection. It's actually the new currency. That's what people are calling it out there. Authenticity and real connection is the new currency. And like I told you in my story of getting coached and finding out that I wasn't really getting coached by the coach, um, that left a mark on me. And I get it when people are like, okay, but am I really going to get coached by you? A few workshops ago, I was doing an ads campaign, and as it normally happens, I had some people like typing into the comments on my ad and asking me questions. And I absolutely love this because when you ask me a question on my ad, it means that everyone sees it. And I love it because it's an opportunity for me to tell other people who might be looking at my course or my workshop what the real deal is. And one of the things that the person asked me in public was, if I buy this workshop, do I have to buy something else to get the whole framework? Because I was advertising that I would hand them the full Build with Faith framework in the workshop. I loved it. I was like, thank you so much for asking me this question. And I said to her, while I will be offering you something at the end of the workshop to help you continue to make progress and for accountability, if you want it, it is not required for you to get the full framework. I'm going to show you the full framework on day one, and I'm going to show you how to install it into your business over the 3 days of the workshop so that by the time that you're done with the workshop, you will have a fully functioning framework. And if you don't want to do anything else with me, you're free to go and you'll have everything that I told you you were paying for. I loved that because it gave me the ability to be truly honest and authentic and transparent in front of everybody. But it showed me that this really is how the market is going right now. And that was 2, 3 launches ago. This very launch that I'm in right now for Plan Your Year, if you look on my ads, you'll see some of those comments. People are like, but is this really this? Like, you're saying this in your messaging, but it sounds a little slick. So can you tell me if like this is for real? And I'm like, yes, keep asking the questions. Keep holding me accountable to transparency and authenticity, because this is what we need right now. And this becomes the currency and it becomes the value of your brand if you're willing to do it. But the reason why I say that kingdom entrepreneurs are perfectly positioned for this season is because this is how we're taught to live. We're not supposed to be like having a facade. We're not supposed to be doing slick talk. We're supposed to be like, here's who I am, right? That's what Jesus was constantly like, put your hand in my side, put your hand in the wounds, like, come close to me, ask me the questions that you want. I want to teach you. And so we can be Christ-like in this. We can be like, yeah, no, like, I'm not trying to hide anything from you. Because right now, jadedness is at an all-time high. And so if you can lead with heart and with truth, with authenticity and with real connection, you are going to do so well in this environment. And what's really true is you might be thinking, "Oh, well, bigger names do better work than me, or they're going to trust them more than you." They can't get into their business with them. They can't get into their problem with them. They can't get into the issue that they're dealing with them like you can, because with a smaller scale like you are, you actually have the ability to respond to every email. You have the ability to respond to the DMs all the time. You have the ability to like voice memo someone and talk to them about their specific issue. Those larger people, they have to have teams. And that's not, it doesn't come across the same. It's not the same feel as you doing it. Do you see that you have a leg up? Do you see that you're like stepping into a room of favor? So good, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 reason for why kingdom entrepreneurs are set up to thrive in this next season is that we fear God and not the algorithm. That is the absolute truth. Can I tell you that? 5, 6 years ago, I was praying in our sanctuary of our church where I'm a pastor alongside my husband. And I was standing in the sanctuary praying on the platform alone. It was dark. And all of a sudden I heard the Lord say, "Erica, I'm writing the fear of the Lord on the walls of this church." And I was like, all of a sudden, and I felt fear. I felt, because it's the fear of the Lord. I felt it. I felt the fear go through me for a second. And all of a sudden I was like, and then all of a sudden the biggest peace came on me. And I was like, what is that? And God said to me, "Erica, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I've just placed the beginning of wisdom in your church. As people walk in, they're going to feel the peace of the fear of the Lord, because this is the safety. The fear of the Lord is safety. And now they're also going to step into the beginning of wisdom." And I just was like, that is so brilliant. And I've never forgotten that. That was 2019 when the Lord gave me that word. And so as we've stepped into this season and I've started seeing things shake and rattle and people getting really afraid, And it's like, oh, the algorithm is changing, and oh, AI is changing everything. And I'm like, I just can't be afraid of that stuff. Like, God knew. It's called AI, artificial intelligence. If we have KI, if we have kingdom intelligence, if we have God intelligence, GI, why am I going to be worried about artificial intelligence just carrying on? It's artificial intelligence will never be able to capture the fullness of the creativity, the heart, the soul, the innovation of the Spirit of God. And if we are believers who are followers of Jesus, the Bible tells us that with the Spirit on the inside of us, He will lead us into all truth. He reminds us of everything that Jesus says. He shows us how to follow Jesus. He's our comforter, He's our guide. Innovations come through Him. We get revelation and inspiration through Him. And with the fear of the Lord, you are rightly aligned. So when you're looking for innovation, if you pair that with having a healthy fear of the Lord, meaning I want this to glorify you. I want this to honor you. I want this to do good to your people. I want to be a servant. I want to serve people. I don't want to just like be famous. I don't want to just like get all my stuff, right? It's like, I know that my purpose is wrapped up in this business. And Lord, I know you're walking with me. And so I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to worry that because things are changing, like God doesn't change. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And if He said it, that settles it. And so we've got to really lean into this idea that since we fear God, we don't have to fear anything else. Acts 5:29 says we obey God and not men. And I mean, like, if we're not going to obey men instead of God, we're definitely not going to obey machines. So, like, we do not have to fear. We don't have to fear the algorithm. Trends don't lead us, truth does. And wisdom is our strategy, and peace is our platform. So if you just make the decision that says that I am going to work from the place of peace with God, then that just settles the issue. So if something starts to spin up, you're just like, I'm taking it to the throne room. He's going to help me with it. I'm not getting riled up because the fear of the Lord is what's surrounding me. The joy of the Lord is my strength, and the peace of Christ rules in my heart. I'm good. I'm good. He said it, that settles it. We're continuing to move on. All right. And now the last one, the fourth one for why Kingdom Women are perfectly positioned in this next season is that we're not building alone. We're not building alone. See, a lot of what is causing this panic is because the people that are out in front, the things that they were doing aren't working anymore. And it's changing. And that's the risk of being a pioneer that is based on one strategy or based on like one thing that you did really well, is that if you're pioneering based on that thing that you built that did really well and you've got all your eggs in that basket, that's a nervous breakdown waiting to happen. Because at some point, the trend is going to shift. At some point, it is going to adjust. But if you are a pioneer for the kingdom, if you've decided that you're going to pioneer whatever it is that God is calling you to pioneer in a season, then if that thing ever ends and if He wants to do it a different way, He'll just shift you into doing it a different way. And so you don't ever have to fear being a pioneer because you're never building alone. He always goes with you. And I think that that one of the reasons why this is so key for us as kingdom entrepreneurs who are leading in this space is that people are done with DIY. I get it. They think like you're hearing that AI has replaced you and that people are just going to AI for everything. Well, you cannot DIY conviction. You cannot DIY passion. You cannot DIY analysis, like real analysis. You cannot DIY discernment. You cannot DIY creativity. You cannot. You AI cannot do it. And so people are like done with that. They might go to it for them to create a checklist or some kind of like a little automation or something. But when they truly want to break through, when they truly want to build something of value that makes a difference, they want to build together. It's not just that they need answers. It's that they want to resonate. They want resonance. Like in my community, the Jesus Girl Gang community, this is what we talk about all the time. Like I hear it nonstop every time we have a call. It's like, I am so glad that I found this community. I'm so glad that I'm building alongside you ladies. I'm so glad I come into a meeting, I come into a conversation, I come into a coaching call. And even if I'm not bringing the question or the consideration, I am getting fed because it's a resonant tone. that's like, we are doing this. We are called of God. We are convicted of it. We are capable of it. We are the girls that God has called to the job. We know we can do it. We're not doing it alone. He's going to help us. We're going to be with one another. Like, we have the encouragement, the support, the accountability, the coaching, everything that we need. We cannot fail. And that is so important. You cannot DIY that. Like, AI cannot do that for you. And I'm sorry, you cannot set enough like reminders on your phone. You can't have enough stickies around your environment in order to do that for your heart. You actually need people. You actually need a covenant community of people who are going in a similar, the same direction, and are sold out for God and what He has said. And they're encouraging each other on a daily basis. You need that. And so the body of Christ knows how to operate as a whole. We know, like, where it says in the Bible that we're all parts of the body and we're gifts to one another and we're meant to share our gifts with one another. As fellow entrepreneurs, this is true too. Just because you have your business and I have my business and they have their business doesn't mean that we're all running in these separated lanes that never come close to one another. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all learning. And like, if we can share with one another and if we can intersect at different points, great, because that's how the body of Christ works best. And so we know how to shine as we work together. A beautiful picture of this is in Nehemiah when they're rebuilding the wall. What I love about it is they're each family is assigned a piece of the wall, but they're building right next to one another. And it's a common, like, the wall is the common goal for them, but each person, each family has their piece of it and they're championing it. And I really believe that as kingdom entrepreneurs, this is what it can look like for us is we can be building the wall of entrepreneurship together. We can be building the wall in the marketplace together to serve the people. But we can have our own special space on the wall as well. That sound good? All right, look, what you thought disqualified you for this season, your small platform, your softer launch that you learned a lot of lessons from, right? Your slow start, it's actually what sets you apart. Sister, you are perfectly positioned for stepping into this next season. And I really do want to get into those 10 massive shifts that have occurred. And I want to position you to be able to build into your business so that you can respond to those things. So I want you to get signed up for the Plan Your Year workshop. Okay. Listen, it's $27. So you know that I'm not out here slinging workshop tickets because I want to make a big ball of cash. I really want you to get a seat in the workshop because I want to help you. So go to ericapyle.com/plan your year. There is a VIP experience available. I have some seats left in it. It's limited because every VIP gets a one-on-one strategy session with me, a call, like a Zoom call, and you also get a group coaching call. But it's because of those strategy sessions that I had to limit it because I only have so much time between now and January 5th. So, and I'm doing all the calls between now and January 5th. So if you want a strategy call with me, if you want the group coaching call so that we can work through your personalized plan for the new year, and if you want unlimited replays to the Plan Your Year workshop, which you probably will want, then you can upgrade to VIP, but it's limited spots. So go to ericapyle.com/plan your year, snag your seat for the workshop, get it done. Maybe print out something and put it in your little stocking. Pretend like Santa brought you something special. Yeah, that's what you should do. Get your own workshop ticket and let Santa get you your VIP upgrade. How about that? You're worth it. You deserve it. You've been working hard this year. All right, sister. That's what I have for you this week. I hope that that's good. Let me give you your action step. Are you ready? This is your week's action step. I want you to take 10 minutes in prayer this week. Get your journal, get your business notebook, get your Kingdom Business Podcast journal out, okay? And I want you to take 10 minutes in prayer with God, and I want you to answer these questions in your journal, okay? It's 2 questions, but one's a 2-parter. The first question is, God, how do you want me to show up in my business in 2026? Just ask Him. God, how do you want me to show up in my business in 2026? Show me. That's question number 1. Question number 2 is a 2-parter. It's, God, what's one skill you want me to sharpen strategically for this year? That's A. And B, what's one goal you want me to put out in front of me to move towards as we build together in the new year? So, what's one skill set you want me to develop for this year? And what's one goal you want me to put in front of me? What milestone, one goal that you want to put in front of me as we build together in the new year? Okay. So, I guess it's three questions. How do you want me to show up in my business in 2026? What's one skill set you want me to sharpen for 2026? And what's one goal in my business you want me to have? And put those down in your notebook. And then I want you to bring them to the Plan Your Year workshop, because we'll definitely be talking about those things when you come in. All right. Listen, sister, you were made for this moment. You know that, right? For such a time as this. You know that as you are stepping out and stepping in, that God is with you and that He has anointed you and appointed you for such a time as this. This is your moment. So don't give up now. This is the time to step in and go all the way in. I really believe that you're stepping into a room of favor when you step into this new year, and I want to go with you. So don't forget to grab your Plan Your Year workshop ticket, and I will see you in there. But other than that, what are we going to do about next week? Huh. You know what? Next Thursday is a holiday. I think that I might record the podcast on Tuesday. That's what I'm thinking. I'll let you know. I'll send you an email. I hope you're on my email list. I also tell you on my Instagram. So if you are not following me on Instagram, come over. I'm at Erica Pyle, real simple. And I'll let you know if I'm planning on going live on Tuesday instead of on Thursday. I want to give you an episode. I do. So that's what I think. I think what I'll do is go Tuesday, but I'll let you know via email and on my socials. Does that sound good? All right, friend. I love you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Bye for now.